Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. I've got some really exciting and potentially franchise-altering news for all of you Packers fans out there. It's the kind of move that could reshape our offensive line and elevate our entire team's chances heading into this crucial stretch of the season. Rumors from insiders like Adam Schefter are buzzing about a blockbuster trade that's about to happen, and it involves none other than Tristan Wirfs, the elite right tackle from Tampa Bay. Yes, the same Tristan Wirfs who's been a three-time Pro Bowler, who's consistently ranked among the top offensive tackles in the league, and who has been a cornerstone for the Bucs' offensive line since he was drafted out of Iowa in 2020. This kind of talent doesn't come around every day, and the Packers are apparently in serious talks to bring him to Lambeau Field, and it's not just a simple swap. We're talking about the Packers offering the 2025 second-round pick, along with Rashid Walker, the promising offensive tackle who's been developing in Green Bay. Now, this trade, if it goes through, could be a game-changer, especially for the Packers' offense. Let's break it down a little. Packers, coming into this season, have been trying to find consistency along the offensive line, and that's been a challenge. With the injury to John Williams, who's out for about 4 weeks, and Travis Glover on IR with a shoulder injury, the depth has been tested. Our offensive line has struggled at times, and that's reflected in our passing game, which early on has suffered from 18 sacks allowed. That's a big number, and it's something that needs fixing if we're serious about making a deep playoff run. Bringing Wirfs into the lineup would immediately provide a stabilizer, a player with a proven track record of excellence, someone who can protect Jordan Love and open up more room for our ground game. And speaking of the ground game, that's another key area where Wirfs could make a huge difference. Our rushing attack, which averages around 112 yards per game, is solid but not yet dominant. With Wirfs, we could see a jump of around 20% in rushing efficiency, pushing our yards per game closer to 140. That's a massive upgrade, especially when you consider how that opens up play-action opportunities and eases the pressure on Love. His development has been promising, but he's been under pressure early on, and a player like Wirfs, with his ability to win blocks and create running lanes, could be the missing piece. Let's talk about Wirfs himself for a moment. This guy, drafted out of Iowa, has been a force since day one. He's a 3x Pro Bowler with an impressive PFF grade of 88.2, which places him among the top 5 tackles in the league for 2024. He's allowed only 2 sacks so far this season, and his EPA per block is plus 0.19, ranking him in the top 5 at his position. In 2025, his pressures allowed are only 3, which puts him in the top 8 among offensive tackles, and he wins 78% of his run blocks, ranking 3rd overall. That kind of consistency and dominance is rare. In Week 2 against the Lions, he blanked the pass rush entirely, with 0 sacks allowed and an EPA per play of plus 0.22. That's elite-level performance. Over his career, he started 82 games, allowed just 10 sacks, and generated 4.5 yards after contact per rush, showing not just protection but also his ability to contribute to the run game. His durability has been impressive, with minimal injuries, only a back issue in 2025 limiting him to 1 game. Now, imagine him protecting Jordan Love, who's been under siege early this season. Love has already taken 18 sacks, and that's impacting his rhythm and confidence. With Wirfs anchoring the right side, that number could drop significantly, giving Love the time he needs to read the field and make those crucial throws. It's no secret that the Packers' offensive line has been a work in progress, but with a player of Wirfs' caliber, we could see the kind of upgrade that transforms our entire offense into a much more potent unit. But of course, nothing in the NFL comes without risks. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in a bit of a tough spot. They're currently sitting at 2-3, with an inconsistent record that's partly due to struggles on offense, especially with Baker Mayfield under center. Their defense, which was once among the league's best, is now ranked 25th in points allowed per game, surrendering around 24 points on average. They're focusing on rebuilding their secondary, which has been porous, and they're looking to shed some cap space, about $18 million, to make that happen. So, trading Wirfs makes sense from their perspective, especially if they're not in the playoff picture this year and want to start a rebuild. But losing a player like Wirfs is still a big blow for Tampa Bay, and it signals a shift in their priorities. For the Buccaneers, acquiring Rashid Walker, a young offensive tackle with potential, seems to be part of their strategy to rebuild the line. But let's be honest, Rashid Walker is still developing, and he's a step below Wirfs in terms of proven elite performance. The risk for Tampa Bay is clear. By trading Wirfs, they might see a dip of around 15% in EPA per run for their rushing attack, which could hamper their offensive efficiency. It's a gamble, but one that they're seemingly willing to take to reset their roster, especially considering their focus on rebuilding the secondary and freeing up cap space for future moves. Now, for us in Green Bay, this trade could be the spark we've been waiting for. If Wirfs joins our team, the projected impact on our offense is huge. We could see a 20% increase in rushing efficiency, and that's not just a number, that's a real change in how we control the game on the ground. Our yards per game could jump from around 112 to a much more threatening 140, giving us a much better chance to dominate in time of possession and keep our defense fresh. And speaking of defense, the stability along the offensive line also helps our defensive units by keeping the opposing offense off the field longer. Another aspect that's worth highlighting is how Wirfs complements the rest of our offensive line, which has been a bit inconsistent this season. Our offensive line grade from PFF has been hovering around 74.8, but with Wirfs in the lineup, projections suggest we could push that above 82, making us a top-tier OL unit, similar to some of the best in the league. Remember, the Chiefs last year had a similar boost when they added Jawan Taylor, which helped them generate over 150 yards rushing in several games. We could see that kind of transformation here in Green Bay. It would also help us reduce turnovers, which have been a concern early in the season, potentially lowering our turnover rate by around 15%. That's huge when you consider how much ball security matters in close games. And the impact on Jordan Love specifically could be significant. With Wirfs protecting him, Love's pass protection stats could improve dramatically. His early season sacks could decrease, and his EPA per pass could jump by around 22%. That's a game changer, especially since Love is still developing and needs all the help he can get to reach his full potential. Plus, Wirfs' ability to win blocks and generate pancakes adds an extra dimension to our run game, making our offense more dynamic and unpredictable. The offensive improvements could also boost our duo of Watson and Olive, creating more scoring opportunities and keeping defenses guessing. Now, let's talk about the playoff picture. If this move happens, the odds of the Packers making a deep run in the playoffs could improve significantly. Our Super Bowl odds, which were around plus 3,000, could drop all the way to plus 1,800, reflecting the increased confidence in our roster. The NFC North, which has been a competitive division, might start to tilt in our favor, with our chances to win the division rising to about plus 250. And one of the most exciting aspects of this potential move is how Wirfs could be a true X-factor in the playoffs, especially in cold-weather games in Lambeau. His strength and technique could give us an edge against big fronts like the Vikings, where his ability to anchor and push the pocket could be the difference in tight, physical battles. And let's not forget, his presence would serve as a symbol of our commitment to winning now and in the future. Wirfs in Lambeau, protecting Jordan Love, leading our ground attack, stabilizing our offensive line. It's the kind of move that signals we're serious about returning to the top of the NFC. It's a bold move, but one that could set the stage for a new era of Packers football, one where our offensive line is no longer a question mark but a true strength. In conclusion, folks, this trade, if it happens, could very well be the pivotal moment that elevates the Green Bay Packers back into that elite tier of NFL teams. Tampa Bay might be sacrificing a future Hall of Famer on the line, but for us, it's a chance to get a player who can transform our offense overnight. Wirfs in Green Bay isn't just a big name, he's a game changer, a player who could help us dominate on the ground, protect our quarterback, and finally bring us closer to that elusive Super Bowl title. So, stay tuned, because this story isn't over yet, and the next chapter in Packers history might just be about to be written with Wirfs leading the way. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster move? Do you think Wirfs can be the piece that finally pushes us over the edge? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Packers organization. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest news, analysis, and insights about your favorite team. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go!